Welcome back to an episode here on the Hart and Hustle podcast. Today's guest, she went from news anchor to nonprofit powerhouse. Now she's helping people with disabilities rewrite the narrative every single day. Kat, I appreciate you being here. I'm going to go straight into that first question. You had a powerful voice on TV and on radio. When did you actually realize your voice could do more outside the spotlight? And you decided to get into something now working with kids with disabilities? Like you're doing something completely different.
I am. So that was kind of my entree into communications. I loved it, but that fast paced environment was a little bit too much because I dig in way too much into that. And the other side of me is just helping people out. It makes me feel good. And so I did a short stint of 30 years in healthcare,
A short.
marketing and fundraising. And then came to Lighthouse Louisiana and even broaden my view of working with people with disabilities.
You say Louisiana. Is that home? How did life bring you to Louisiana?
Yeah, I am born and raised. I'm a New Orleans girl. My family all grew up here, so this is home for me.
Okay. I want to get back to the conversation we were just having before we even hit record. It was about plans. And I kind of stopped the conversation because I think there's a lot of leaders that try to find that thing that brings them life, right? I told you that's what brings me life, just to see how plants can really flourish outside of a different pot, if you put them in a bigger pot. And I'm at the point now where I'm like, if you buy me something for any, Father's Day, birthdays, get me a big pot because my plants are outgrowing these small and medium pots. So is that what gives you just that relaxation, that break when you're having a tough day?
Yeah, I love my garden. I'm much better with my outside garden than my inside garden. This plant is actually really good, but I love to dig in the dirt and really get down to the basics. I feel like that's where we all started. We came just as bits and pieces from the ground up, and I like to get back to, no pun intended, my roots and
That's it. That's
and
it. I was trying to look at my phone because I took a screenshot yesterday, and it was something about as soon as you put your hand in dirt, it's a dose of, I can't remember what the word was. But when I read it, I'm like, yeah, that's me. As soon as I get into the dirt, I get so lost into
yeah.
it, right? And really just being able to take your brain off of everything that's happening. Right now, what we're dealing as a nonprofit community, also in those healthcare spaces, on what's happening at the government level. And we're all got a little fear in us, right? We're trying to figure out what is truly the next step for us. Some of us trying to innovate and stay ahead of the game when it comes to AI, because sometimes we have to cut people not because we want to, but budget cuts, right? We don't have the budget anymore. But where it's like, okay, well, how do we continue this? And people are implementing a lot of these AIs, not as a replacement, but as a tool to make life a little easier for us.
Right.
Where are you guys at, Kat, when it comes to AI as a leader in this space of innovation and growth? And you've been doing it for a long time. You've been growing your career, but also growing the nonprofit spaces.
Yeah, and at Lighthouse Louisiana, we really, because we work with people with disabilities, technology is key because that's how we teach people to empower themselves, to live independently, or to find that better job. And so we really look for new and innovative ways with technology to teach people to do just that. So AI is just a new way for us to figure out how to be more accessible.
So you being in communications, how does AI, like, does it excite you? Like, you've been in communications a lot. Is this making life a little easier for you? To me, I almost feel like this is great. It makes me more creative. It makes me faster at what I do. And sometimes I feel like I have a second assistant, to be quite honest with you.
I have used it. I've kind of embraced it, like you do with all technology and new things.
Yeah.
It tends to take some of the writer's block, if you will. It helps get a start to something, and then we can add our own flair and our own brand to it. So I've definitely used it. My team has used it. I have a young communications professional, and she has used it a lot. And it's just another tool in our toolbox.
That's it. That truly is. I was mentioning to someone yesterday, I forgot what he told me his was, but I told you about the journal that I was writing. So I was doing the last minute edits and I just put a screenshot, didn't notice anything on the screenshot. I just asked a question. It was just about the pages bleeding, right? Like, hey, is this going to be printed XYZ? So I said, no, everything looks good. By the way, you have something here, and it screenshotted it. I don't know if this belongs here. And it was literally when you add a text box, that gibberish that just comes up
Oh, yeah.
was just down like so small down below, but not small where I couldn't see it. It's just because I was looking at everything else
Yeah.
that it actually caught the small little things. And that's what I love about it, that you can actually put in a picture and say, break this down for me.
Yeah.
Especially in the nonprofit spaces, these Excel spreadsheets. We don't have time to be reading all these Excel spreadsheets, but if you prompt it well enough, it would give you exactly what you're looking for. Um, I do love it. I love that you're at least tapping into it, figuring out what is best, right, for the organization moving forward. I really want to kind of go back, though. You've been a storyteller your whole life. That's what you do. A nonprofit, I say that we sell stories. What was the moment you knew that storytelling just wasn't a career for you? It was truly this calling that you have.
I think when well, actually, just in broadcasting, we told stories. And then moving into healthcare, it really is. It's about finding that story that's going to resonate with your public. And so for me, it's our donors and our clients and our consumers. What is that story that's going to make them pick up the phone and say, I need help? Or what is that story that's going to say to a funder, I would like to support your cause? And that's it. I mean, it's just, I think it's a beautiful thing to find those impactful stories that people can understand and relate to.
I'm a big believer, Kat, that your life connects the dots at some point. And it looks like from beginning to now, your life is just kind of connecting the dots. Some pivots from media to healthcare to nonprofits. People will look at you like, does she not know what she wants to do? But it truly it was all connecting the dots. If you look back at it, do you see these dots connecting? When did you see the dots were actually connecting?
Um, I don't know that I actually looked at my career and said, oh, but I do see the part of my career where I help people. When they say, what would you do if money wasn't an object? And for me, it's, well, what can I do to help people? I do that in my church. I do that in my work life. I do it with friends. And so, I don't know, I just feel like that's what I've been put on this earth to do, is to help people. And I always get a multitude of graces in return.
Yeah, I'm with you. I am that individual that always wants to help and sometimes get so upset when I realize people are not taking my help. I've actually had to learn, and it was a long time ago. I remember this gentleman. I was working with a partner in business, and I'm like, he's just not getting it. I see the good in him, but he's just not listening, right? And we ended up splitting ways. So I go back to this. He's a big real estate guy, millionaire, and I go to him and I say, hey, man, like this didn't work out. And I was upset. He can see it. He said, why are you so mad? I'm like, he just doesn't get it. Like, he has the potential. He said, but did he ask you for help? And I'm like, no, but. And he says, well, you're the idiot because you should, like, you can't get mad. He didn't ask you. You just, and I'm like, from that moment on, I'm actually now more cautious. And when I ask or want to tell someone something, hey, is it okay if I can, because I also feel at times I could just say something without ever asking if it's okay. And in the nonprofit world, we realize we got to meet people where they're at times.
Right.
Maybe they don't want to hear that today. Okay, no worries. Have a good day. At least something, because I think it is still those small conversations, them allowing to be seen and heard. You being now part of this organization, can you talk to us about what does a day-to-day actually look like in the Lighthouse of Louisiana?
Yeah. So we really have four areas of expertise here. So we have clients that come in who are losing their vision or have lost their vision, and they want services that will help them remain independent, whatever that looks like to them. So we will have clients come in for classes or trainings or things like that. We also work with people who are deaf or hard of hearing, and we are able to provide telecommunications equipment and hearing aids, and so we work with them on finding the right fit for them. And then we have employment services. So if somebody has a disability and they want to work, we will help them find a job and keep it. And then we have a manufacturing part. So we hire people with disabilities, specifically people who are blind or visually impaired. And we produce goods for the federal government.
I remember you telling me that, and I'm pretty sure anybody that's hearing, like, how? Can you talk to us about how this has been possible? I mean, this is heavy machinery that
Yeah.
people may have never thought. Back in the days when it comes to with those disabilities, they were just kind of put away. Now they're out in our world, because they are one of us,
Yeah.
and they're doing things like this. And I would love to know, how did we guys make that happen? Was it something that you implemented that was already in the space? When did it get started?
So we started 110 years ago, and we started as an organization to employ people who are blind or visually impaired. And that has been our mantra over the years, even though we've grown to do some other things in the disability space. That has been our core. And so I'll give you a case in point. We have a gentleman, he's actually one of our advocates, it's Horace, and he was a HVAC repairman for years. He had his own business, but he was losing his vision. And he came through the Lighthouse to learn the skills he needed to remain independent. And then when he was unable to perform that work anymore, he came and worked for us. So he's a leader in our deck swab department, mops, deck swabs for the Navy.
Yeah.
And if you saw what this crew does in there, I still have been here 3 years, I still could not do it. I gotta be honest. And it is all tactile, and it's amazing. And they're using the same machinery that sighted people would use.
I love this. A lot of nonprofits, they become that one slice of life, but you guys have really made this full circle space that supports both the work and, as you mentioned, the independence. And in 3 years, what brings you to this organization? You've been into the healthcare space. We mentioned you've been in radio. What brings you to the nonprofit, especially one like this?
So the healthcare was a nonprofit. So this is the second nonprofit. I think it is exactly that. It's a nonprofit. That's where I can help. And this organization, while we do really big things, we are as small as a family. We have about 100 employees, and it has become such a warm environment. I have learned so much from the people here. I have learned so much more respect for people with different disabilities, and respect for people what they can do. Our COO is blind, and she's actually in charge of our technology. Usually when we have a problem, we go ask Janice. She's a professor, she's an occupational therapist by trade. And so it inspires me every day to see what this group of individuals do.
Yeah, sometimes you have to be in those moments to just see things differently, to see life differently, right? I think that's the beauty of sometimes going volunteering, for some nonprofits. You get to see things that you normally would not see. Right. Some people will travel and see it, but sometimes you may not be able to travel and see it. And I do love it. I remember you actually mentioning that, and I was like, how cool, right? That's the first company I ever heard, so why not more? Doing a phenomenal job, clearly. And you see really how we've been told for years, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that still live like this. We're told people with disabilities need protection. However, at Lighthouse, they're leading teams, and they're crushing protection goals, right?
Yeah.
What broke your own assumptions? Was it you actually getting into the space? I can only imagine you're like, wait a minute, this is happening here?
Yeah, it really is to walk through our manufacturing department and see the amount of people. We have 85% people in that department who are blind or visually impaired, and to see what they are able to accomplish and do it well. I mean, we provide we manufacture quality products for the federal government, and then also in the services side we have two teachers who are visually impaired, and they are teaching other adults how to navigate their world, and I am just always amazed. I can't I, I always say, this is, you have to see it to believe it, because these people truly are remarkable, but it's the work they do that is remarkable.
Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying the podcast, we first want to say thank you. And we also just want to give you a little insight of what we're up to at Francis. Some don't even realize that we're working with organizations to help them use AI to create that real human communication experiences, whether that's actually supporting your families, those patients, or the entire community. We're actually creating tech that connects. Check it out, francis.ai. Okay, do you remember those that really poured into you that make you this amazing leader that you are today? I mean, this is a very special place to be in, and obviously it takes a special leader like yourself. Who was the ones pouring into you as you're evolving into this now nonprofit leader, big nonprofit leader today?
Well, I think my parents have been a huge influence on me over the years. They were leaders in their own right. My mother was an entrepreneur. My dad was a leader in his field, and then I have been blessed with the best mentors over the years, and most recently our CEO. Our president and CEO she joined about a year before I did, and she has just the business acumen, but she is able to teach and advise, and it's just been wonderful. We have a large female leadership here, and it's been really fabulous. I am always learning. I never say I know everything, because I don't, and I'm really blessed to have mentors in my life.
You say learning. So the other day I was working with a designer. I said, "Hey, do you design pan flips?" And she just laughed. And she's like, "What is a pan flip?" And she's like, "Is that something to do with cooking?" And I'm like,
Oh,
"No, it's like a brochure." And she's like,
for
"Oh, I've
sure.
never heard that, right?" And I was like you said, we learn something new every day. It doesn't matter. Especially with different generations, you learn something new. I was
Absolutely.
watching someone explain to someone what a beeper was, right? And the kid, he's now 20 something. He's like, I mean, I've seen it in movies, but I never really knew what a beeper did. Isn't it crazy, Kat, that we live in a world that people don't know what a beeper
I
is?
know. I know. But we had them,
Oh,
and guess what? We lived without it.
yeah, yeah, we did. What's really funny, I think about cell phones right nowadays is that we were once told that we'll never have a calculator in our pocket, right? We have it every day in our
I know.
pockets.
I know.
So when people say that it's never possible, this organization shows the impossible. All
Yeah.
right, so I truly love it. And after 35 years in the storytelling and advocacy, what still surprises you about this line of work?
Um, I think that the people, and certainly the innovation. We last year we had there was a federal grant that came
Hmm.
open, and it was a demonstration grant for people with disabilities, and it's used by using technology to help them get better jobs and things like that. And my CEO came to three of us and said, "We need to go for this." And we had 1 month to put it together, and we worked day and night, and this team was amazing, and we were able to get that grant. And so we are going to be able to help more people find better employment, and I'm so excited. I mean, everyone could have heard us screaming because we were so excited to get this. It's just going to help us
Yeah.
do more.
Yeah, yeah. Anytime you can do more, it's we're in a giving space, and right now a lot of people are not giving.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hear you. Anything that we can
Tough.
get into do more, yeah, yeah. That's I've been talking about different fundraiser events, and like I think every probably organization's doing. We'll be doing our first golf tournament, and
Oh,
us, and it's really cool though because when you think about anytime speak to someone about golf, you don't have to be in the nonprofit space. They get so excited about golf,
hmm,
right? So I was talking to this leader today. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, like I'm a member to the golf, and we can do X, Y, Z." I'm like, "Oh, people, I don't play golf, so I guess that's why I don't understand the excitement." But you know what? If it's gonna be a great fundraiser, we talked about different things. The water barrel,
yeah.
shh, don't tell nobody. But what a great thing to actually do because people need them, and if you could do everything for them, like literally, I just at Walmart you buy it. I think they were like $90, so
Yeah.
I saved 30 plus it's going to a good cause, going back to the libraries.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, and the library that we have here locally. They're so good. They just do so many great things, and I'm happy that we have those type of resources, and we have resources like what you're doing, Kat.
Right.
For the person that's listening who truly wants to help, but they don't know how, what's that one first powerful step they should take?
I think they need to research and see what they like
Hmm.
and find it out and then just pick up the phone and call and ask.
That's it.
Everyone's looking for help.
Everyone, find something that you love. Google it, and I'm pretty sure you'll find a
Yeah.
nonprofit that is adjacent to it for sure. You spent your whole life truly just amplifying others people's voices, but what keeps your voice still grounded and lit up after
Um,
35 years doing this, Cat?
I think probably the stories. You know, I am completely uplifted when I
Hmm.
hear another story. I just heard a story about a little girl that we are treating with occupational therapy. She was born blind and has some other disabilities. And our occupational therapist started working with her, and she never smiled before this. And we have pictures of her smiling and like reaching. And I'm like, okay, give me more, give me more.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I love stories. I think it wasn't really until 35 now, 12 was 30, where realizing I'm a storyteller. I
Hmm.
love to tell
Yep.
stories. And really, because I was an advocate to my own story, right? Sexual abuse and adoption, and understanding that we all experiencing something in life. We all, at some point, may have felt alone. And I think that's what happened for me. And until I started to open up a little bit more, I was 20 something years old when I'm talking about adoption on national TV, or
Wow.
22 years old when I finally talked about sexual abuse and just told a group of friends. But I always remember that day of crying and what it made me feel like. But it was also felt like a weight lifted off my shoulders,
Yeah.
right? So when I'm able to tell those stories and realize that other people are open to share their stories, that's why I do what I do, right? Like this right here that we're doing, Cat, someone's going to watch and be like, man, I love this, right? Whether resonate with plants, whether resonate with stories, autism, like there's disabilities, there's so many things that they can actually relate with by just sharing authentic and real stories. So yeah, I truly do love stories. One day I say I'll write a story. The crazy thing is not that I don't can't read, but I don't like to read. I like to just tell a story,
Yeah.
right? So reading a story is like I don't even with
Yeah.
movies. You watch movies often, Kat?
I do. I do.
I'm like I have my favorite actors and I'll watch those movies, but even when it comes to movies, like I'd rather tell the story. Figure someone else's story. Really be the voice for the voiceless, and I think that's exactly what you've
Yep.
been doing for a very long time is becoming the voice for the voiceless. Do you actually remember or have something that comes to mind when you think when work feels heavy, you go back to this moment? Is there anything that comes to mind?
You know what I do? I take a walk. So one thing that does is get me out of myself.
Hmm.
And I take a walk. And when I was in healthcare, I did it. And here I do it. And I take a walk and I look at everyone else because then I'm not looking at myself anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. I always love to hear what other leaders are actually doing and how they kind of ease their mind or shut the mind down.
Hmm.
I used to try so many different things, yoga.
Yeah.
The thing is with me, I've never been diagnosed, but I cannot sit still. Even that's happens reading. Like I'm reading, and my mind just thought about 5 different things.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. I get to page 10, and I'm like, I try to think about what I read. I'm like, man, my mind's about creating and this story or this this work, and going back to plants. That is the only thing that I can think about that I get so lost in,
Yeah.
and I don't even know where the time has truly gone.
Yeah.
And my wife says the other day, her mother-in-law, my mother-in-law, she says, I think he has an addiction, a good addiction. I could be doing other things,
Yeah.
and I'm like, it's not an addiction. I just love life.
Yeah.
It's just my 35th. She asked me what did I want to do. I said I just want to be in the middle of the jungle somewhere. Like put me around nature,
Yeah.
because that's where I can just quiet.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. So yours is walking. I love it, and it's just kind of seeing people and realizing,
Right.
one, I'm not alone.
It's not me.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not about me. Yeah, it's
Not
not
me.
about me, Kat. I've truly, now that I'm a dad, even more, I'm like, oh, it's not about me.
Right.
There's people truly watching my own household.
Yeah.
They're watching what you're saying. They're watching what you're doing. So learning about myself, learning. You talk about learning every day. I love this space of learning. And then since you work in this space with those with disabilities, you're learning, how to love people for who they are. And I love it. I mentioned that I got two a nephew and a niece, both with autism, right? Learning how to walk, learning how to talk, all these things. And my daughter's 4 years old. Her cousin's a little older. They're 7, 8 years old. So, of course, she asks the question that every young kid's going to ask. Why is she like that? Why is she not walking? Why is she not talking? And my niece that is 16 years old turns around. She says, we're all different, and we just all got to love each other.
Oh, how beautiful.
And I'm like, wow. I had an answer.
That was
At that point, I'm like, that was the answer.
That
That
was
was a
it.
great answer.
I'm gonna
We
use
just got to love everyone. So what are some of the things that you guys are working on now? Now you said you just got this big
The big
grant to do
grant.
something big.
Yeah.
What does the next couple of years look like for you guys when you guys think about innovation and growing and scaling?
Yeah, so with that grant, we are going to have a training center and a call center to employ people to teach them how to do a call center, and
That's cool.
we are testing innovative uses of technology to help people eh, perform better at jobs and then get better jobs.
This is cool. I'm so
Yeah,
excited, Kat.
we're
So when are
really
you? What
excited.
what is your? If you had to put the next 5 years and think about where does Kat want to be, what does that look like for Kat?
So I am riding this train of innovation and technology. I love it. I love talking about it. I love sharing our message. I feel like we are kind of a little the best kept secret here in New Orleans, and we have a location in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I am just going to be shouting from the rooftops all that we can do for people to help them here.
Until someone kicks you out the seat.
Yeah, I know.
You keep saying Louisiana, New Orleans.
I
I know there's
know.
great food. We hear it all the
It's
time.
amazing.
So for the person that is listening right now, they're thinking like, wait a minute, I just want to know where to go eat.
Yeah.
What is your favorite to go to place?
Yeah, there is so many places here. It is from hole in the wall, po' boy places to fine dining with white tablecloths. I don't want to get into it because I'm gonna upset some of my favorite restaurateurs. But you really can't go wrong here.
I
we
love it.
we don't eat to live. We live to eat here.
Oh man, I go to some places that are Louisiana, New Orleans, and I'm like, I can imagine this ain't it.
Yeah.
So I got to go to a good one. So we got to go to Louisiana. I'm in there. I'm gonna have to reach out to you so you can
Yeah.
actually tell me where do I go,
Definitely.
Kat? Where do I
Depending
go?
on what you're looking for, I got it.
I love it. So it's time for the hot seat. I know we got to start wrapping this up. Got to respect your time. If we had to put you in the hot seat, ask this question from another leader that just like yourself, what's one belief you had about leadership early in your career that's still just as true today?
I would say to be duplicatable. So what I do, I hope that I teach my team that they can do it too.
Mm-hmm. Truly can. You know what? That's a great leader again. Because I always ask that question when someone says, I want to hire someone, but I just can't find someone to just do it as good as me. And I always ask the question, are you a leader? Response is normally yes. Well, if you're a leader, you should be able to lead someone to be even better
Yeah.
than you.
Yeah.
It takes time. You got to date. It's like dating. You got to find that person that really can, even in the nonprofit space, I feel like I'm finding those people that are aligned with just my vision as well. Because sometimes that also happens. You get new leaders in spaces, and I always agree with what they got to say. So I love that. That was really, really good. What is your blank question to the next leader here on the Heart and Hustle?
Um, I think my question would be, what do you do to let go?
What do you do to let go? That's a good question. It's so easy, but such a good question. Okay, I love it. I love it. Well, Kat, what can people find a little bit more about you, whether that's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, but
Yeah.
also about the organization? What is the website? Are you guys on social medias?
Yeah, we sure are. It's lighthouselouisiana.org. It's a long one. And we're on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. And we'd love to hear any stories that anyone has or see if we can help anybody.
I love it. Well, Kat, thank you so much for your time. Guys, if you're still watching, this is Kat from the Louisiana Lighthouse, or Lighthouse Louisiana. Did I say it wrong here? Lighthouse Louisiana. And we appreciate you guys watching. Always remember, we just got to just show love to people, okay? We all come in different shapes and forms and sizes. We all just got to love each other. You can see that it's all possible. If you've never thought that working with no vision and working in a manufacturing facility wasn't possible, you guys got to make sure you guys check out the website. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys do like, subscribe, and comment. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Bye.